Gemini season, which is the opposition of Sagittarius, Gemini wants to talk about stuff. And sometimes the lower octave of Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury, which Mercury is going into Gemini here the day before the full moon or the new moon and on the 26th. We're really feeling the need to share ourselves, right? To share our voices, our experiences, what's going on in our own individuated worlds so that we can contribute to the whole of humanity right now as we're all going through these massive evolutionary shifts, not only in consciousness, but in our physical bodies, with our healthcare systems, with our environment, our economic systems. Everything is shifting and changing, collapsing, rebuilding simultaneously, right? This is all part of this evolutionary process that humanity is all going through. So what came through meditation and what wants to come through me in my contribution is speaking on astrology, right? Because for me, in my life and with the people that I engage with and that I follow and that I am vibing with, a lot of the podcasters that I follow are having higher level conversations, right? Or having what we call the higher octave conversation, if you would, in astrology. So the shadow of Gemini would be a lot of gossiping, right? Talking about the neighbors and did you see what Jenny did? And that's fine. We do that. I feel primarily out of boredom. It's like we like living in these novellas to see, somebody else's demise. It makes us feel better about ourselves. But anyway, we're evolving out of that. I like to think, the optimistic Pollyanna version of me that is that Sagittarius rising likes to look at the best in humanity. And so what better way to see the best in humanity than to, first of all, see the best in yourself, right? Start speaking of yourself better. This is also Venus in Aries right now. We've got the moon in Aries, we've got Neptune in Aries, and we've got Saturn, our structure, our planets getting ready to go into Aries. So there's a lot of Aries energy right now, which is ruled by the sun. And so you want to look to where the sun is at, shining its light. It's in Gemini. We need to talk about these things. We need to talk about these self-love practices, how we can better love ourselves so we can better love one another. And so this is a journey, guys. This is a continuing conversation that's been going on for millennia, as long as humanity, the version of humanity, has been alive. But we're becoming the next octave version of humanity as well, right? So again, astrology for me affords us a next higher level octave conversation about our reality by using the language of astrology. To me, astrology is a very neutral language. It puts you in a space of contemplation, observation, rather than judgment of that's wrong and that's right and that's good and that's bad. And, this is very much Gemini as well, polarity, right? The poles, we have two hemispheres of the brain that are constantly engaging and having an opinion about what they're perceiving, what they're projecting in this reality. So the conversations that wanted to come up and the commitment level that wanted to come up as my contribution to humanity is just to share myself, to share the astrological insights that I have been able to glean throughout my years working with astrology since 2005 when I took my first astrology class and went all the way to Greece to the roots of astrology. I've just really explored astrology. It's just been a passion. And again, it's a language and a way to converse that brings neutrality, that brings more balance, more peace. Again, because you're looking at something not from judgment, but from neutrality, right? When you're looking at your shadow, when you're looking at the people that are pissing you off, you could just say, well, their Aries must be transiting through their Mercury right now. They're just having pissed off thoughts. It just gives you a way to understand yourself first, and then one another. And so in this 30-day cosmic exploration that Source wants me to take, meaning I have to commit to speaking astrology every day for 30 days, within that interweaving time period, I was told to, because I'm here also to build community, right? To have these higher level octave conversations with other people that are learning or who are curious and want to speak the language of astrology so that they can get that center objective observer aspect within themselves activated online. Again, how we speak is how we create reality, right? The words become worlds. And we're spellcrafting all the time, right? In this caste system, we're casting. You look at the word cast, right? You cast it when you go to Hollywood, you cast a screen, right? I think of India, there's a caste system, there's like a leveling. So there's all these words that we've been using to explain the reality that's ready to be leveled up. And so this is the cosmic exploration that's going to be happening on Livzenastrology, also AdeptAstrologers, which is a private community group. I have a public community group called AdeptAstrology for people that are wanting to learn the language, wanting to share really cool articles, maybe share their voices. And again, I'm also being called to reactivate Livzenastrology podcast to be able to speak on these things. Again, Gemini season really wants to have these higher octave conversations because Pluto's involved, right? There's a trine still happening with Pluto and Aquarius. So it's not about the gossiping. It's not about, what Aubrey Marcus did and, all these other spiritual leaders who we're starting to see are starting to reveal their shadow selves. Right? There's a lot to talk about. But what you talk about, you bring about. Again, words become worlds. Words are swords, their thoughts, their ideas. So this is an invitation for us to have a new experience, higher level ideas, higher level thinking by speaking in a way possibly about yourself, about learning about yourself and astrology in a way that helps you become more embodied, more empowered, more inspired, and more realizing that as you start understanding your own individuated self, that when you truly love and accept all the parts of you, even the shadow parts, even the parts that are not that great, that you're perceiving that are not that great, are actually needed and are actually perfect. And so we're moving into this space of humanity, these parts of us, the ego parts of us are dying. It happened off in May, with this full moon in Scorpio, a lot was revealed about what shadow aspects of us needed to die off so that the true essence of who we are could be reborn and shown now and spoken about in a new way, right? Even sometimes in silence, there's magic in not even using words at all, right? But in Gemini season, we're called to use our words. So this is just an invitation to, again, have higher level conversations about self, about your reality. We're going to be talking quantum energy. We're going to be talking metaphysics. We're going to be talking occult knowledge. We're also going to be talking about pragmatic and practical tools. Like today, we're going to be doing a workshop and the nodes of fate and how that can help you discover your soul purpose, right? So for me, it was a struggle for many, many years. What's my purpose here on this planet? Why am I here? What am I doing here? Right? I just couldn't. It was beyond being a mother, which I got to be a mother, and I'm so grateful. It was beyond being a bartender, which I got to be in hospitality and service for 25 plus years. And then even moving into astrology, right? Becoming an astrologer, it's just a label. It's ineffable who we really are. But to continue the cosmic conversation using the language of astrology, it's just a tool. It's just a vibration. And again, it's a way to put you in that neutral space of being the observer as you can look at energy outside yourself in a more cohesive way. That's what astrology allows, for me anyway. And so for those of you that are interested in astrology, that want to learn the language more, that want to study, go deeper, again, having these higher octave conversations about reality, about quantum energy, about timelines, about cosmic energies that exist within you, right? We're going to be going into astrophysiology. And again, I'm going to be meditating. And for those of you that want to explore this, please put in the comments, give me some ideas of what you want to learn about. I'm going to chat GPT it and say, give me 30 days of conversation topics based on what the collective is looking at. But I also want to know from you, what topics of interest would you like to explore through the lens of astrology? And how can we deep dive and get vulnerable? And that's why I wanted to create this in the sacred container of the private community, because I would also invite us to explore each other's charts, right? So we're holding space for each other in this really sacred container while we're looking intimately at each other's charts, as we're connecting, as we're sharing, our own psychic influences, our own psychic impressions for one another. Again, keeping it very high vibration. We're going to be doing a meditation before the sacred container. We're really going to just be calling in, again, invoking in that sacredness so that we can all speak from our truth, from our hearts, from our mind and our hearts connected, so that we can unify and just bring a better experience of this, what we call human reality, to ourselves and one another. So that's the intention. I'm looking forward to connecting with you guys that are interested. It's going to be starting in about an hour. It's a webinar again. The nodes of fate, discovering your soul purpose. We're going to be looking at the nodes of the moon. Right now we have the axis point of the south node in Virgo, north node in Pisces. So what does that mean? What do the nodal points look like in your chart? How can you find them in your chart? And how is that point to giving you direction to your true north, which is your soul's purpose, right? Again, the nodes of fate, the nodes of the moon holds memory. And so it's reactivating you into possibly remembering why you're here, right? And again, it's just a tool. It's not the answer. It's just a possible answer that helps you explore your own chart. We're just giving you the concepts. And I also have a free PDF ebook that I like to send you guys out that helps you understand. It gives you the definition of what these symbols mean, because one symbol can hold a lot of energy and a lot of meaning just by looking at the symbol, right? So again, this is a cosmic conversation, a higher level octave conversation about astrology. It's an integrative approach to how to better take care of yourself, not only your physical body, but your mental, your spiritual, your emotional, and your financial bodies can all be, looked at and deciphered within the birth chart, within the blueprint that you've chosen. And once you understand that blueprint, then you can erase the whole damn thing and rebuild and do whatever you want, right? But it's like, in order to change the laws, you have to know them, right? This is part of knowing thyself. So this is the cosmic exploration that's going to be gleaned through Livzenastrology. Again, AdeptAstrologers is the private community channel. And if you guys want to be a part of that, just let me know, because eventually it will be a paid subscribership, only because, when you have skin in the game, you're investing in yourself and you're investing into these deeper concepts. And again, that you don't want that container for everybody, right? So you want to make sure that people that are ready to evolve, to transform, to be the best versions of themselves, and who are interested in astrology and interested in being in a cosmic community online where we can be vulnerable with one another, then there has to be that sort of filtration system. And I'm realizing too, the paid subscriberships is just a form of filtration system. And it's just a way to keep, again, things clean, clear, of integrity, and sacred. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for sharing and being here and being interested. And you guys can reach out to me if you want to be invited into the private page, or you can go to the public page, Livzenastrology or AdeptAstrologers, AdeptAstrology from Livzenastrology, and then the AdeptAstrologers is the private page. And I'm going to be playing with different avenues. Again, you guys can put in the comments. I'm going to be using a Discord page first, because I think, first of all, you can screen share, which is very important when you're looking at astrology. I also have Zoom, which I can send out a Zoom link. I can do some lives on Facebook lives. I'm going to be doing, of course, lives on YouTube. Playing with TikTok a little bit. I did a live there, which is really cool because you do a lot of editing on if you do a TikTok live, and that's really fun too. So again, Gemini season, exploring different ways to communicate, different social media outlets, different ways to be seen. Again, looking for me, the path of least resistance. What feels more fun? What feels more interactive? This is about community building. And again, having higher octave conversations about astrology and self through astrology. So, all right, guys, I'll see you at 3 o'clock if you're a vibrational match to be there. If not, I hope you have a wonderful day, and looking forward to connecting. Much love.